Your parents are your role models, and there's no way you can get around it. It's what makes you end up being able to forgive them, is when you realize how you're not all that different.
On Golden Pond had not been made just to bankroll Tom Hayden's political ambitions. It was also Jane's gift to her ailing 75-year-old father. The film, with its poignant story of a dying man and his estranged and stubborn daughter, also starred Katharine Hepburn, who reminisced with me about playing the Fondas' on-screen wife and mother as Henry and Jane acted out a story so strikingly similar to their own.
Charles? Darling, you're wrong about your dad. He does care. He cares deeply. It's just that he's an absolute mutt about telling anyone. I thought Henry and I were a wonderful combination, and she was excellent cross between us as our daughter. It was a lovely experience for her and for Henry. Well, they hadn't been able to truly contact each other, and they did somehow, working every day on the set.
Hello, Norman.
Well.
I think that maybe you and I should have the kind of relationship that we're supposed to have.
What kind of relationship is that?
Well, you know, like a father and a daughter.
Yeah, just in the nick of time, huh? Worried about the will, are you? Well, I'm leaving everything to you except what I'm taking with me.
Just stop it. I don't want anything. It seems that you and me have been mad at each other for so long.
I didn't know we were mad, I thought we just didn't like each other.
I want to be your friend.
No.
There was nothing more important to her.
This means you
have to remember she bought the material for him as a gift. But it was also an opportunity for both of them. She knew, after all, here was a piece of material in which there was a great tension between father and daughter, and there was a real effort at reconciliation in the material. And she saw it as an opportunity, I think, to act out what she needed to act out in her life.
Henry's wife, Shirley, was also aware that art was imitating life.
I mean, I know it was somebody else's words, Ernest Thompson's words, but they were almost like, because it was so real, like they were Jane's words, and it just threw Henry like, you know, I just want to be your friend.
On Golden Pond was an unqualified smash, earning Katharine Hepburn another Academy Award and Henry his first, which Jane accepted for her bedridden father in April of 1981. 4 months later, Henry Fonda was dead.
He woke up this morning, sat up in bed, and quietly just stopped breathing.
At the age of 44, Jane Fonda was nobody's little girl anymore. The man whose approval she'd so long sought, whose liberal politics she'd so zealously outstripped, was gone.
I think that by the time Henry died, Jane and he had a really wonderful relationship and had come together and worked out whatever their differences was, and there was enormous love and respect on both sides.
Jane now had to prove herself only to herself, and life had to go on. Relocating the family in another modest home in Santa Monica, Jane became immersed in the Jane Fonda workout, showing her trimmer wares in Rollover, the first IPC film not to hit the jackpot. Still, the workout books and videos were runaway bestsellers. The astronomical proceeds, according to political media consultant and the video producer Sid Galanti, were specifically earmarked by the Haydens.
They were targeting their money toward problems of cancer-related diseases, toxic waste problems, Stringfellow waste sites. They were worried about children, and they needed money for their political causes.
Up those arms and cha-cha. Same foot front now. Step, step, change. Same foot. Step, step, change. Get those arms right overhead.
Nobody had ever done this before. It had to be done in a way where she could project her personality. We sold 5.5 million copies. It is the largest selling videotape on the market that is not a movie. It has, one of her titles has been on the best-selling charts since over the last 6 years. And in most cases, there are 3 of her titles in the top 10.
In 1984, Fortune magazine estimated the combined Fonda enterprises grossed $500 million. The World Almanac named Jane among the country's most influential women. The Gallup poll listed her the 4th most admired, and a television debut in The Doll Maker added an Emmy to her Oscars. The Golden Girl was on a roll and looking suspiciously better at almost 50 than she had in years, giving rise to tabloid rumors of facelifts and eye surgery.
Okay, now, now Jane, can I see your sitting, please?
2 films released just prior to Jane's 50th birthday, Agnes of God and The Morning After, eschewed Hollywood glamour. In Agnes, Jane was a pinched neurotic. In The Morning After, a washed-out alcoholic, a characterization superbly executed, according to the director, Sidney Lumet.
There are not a great many successful careers of leading women as they get older. However, she is dauntless. She's got tremendous energy. She is constantly on the lookout for material, works on it, develops it, invests her own money in it. And never underestimate that drive on her part. She's quite amazing that way.
She'll never be an old lady, because Jane's always going to be younger than any of us, at whatever age she is, because it's an attitude. She has a wonderful attitude.
I think she looks awfully good.
Hollywood brat-packer Judd Nelson thought Tom Hayden looked good, too, when he and other young actors met for informal discussions at the Haydens' L.A. home. The passing of the political torch to a new Hollywood generation alarmed some and heartened others.
They didn't corral us. They sort of lit a fire under those that needed a fire lit under them.
Proposition 65 is a law and order proposition. Those parties in violation of our drinking water will be punished.
We're in desperate need of leaders, and I really think that Tom and Jane have tremendous leadership capabilities and use those abilities to get us all involved.
And so, after 50 years of searching for herself, she seemed finally to have it all together. Except that Hanoi Jane would not go away.
Fighting tartar with regular toothpaste is like trying to dig a hole to China with a teaspoon.